Picture a stop sign in your head. Instantly, you see it, bright red, stark white letters in those distinct 8 sides. It is one of the most universally recognized symbols on the planet. But have you ever paused to wonder why an octagon? There are triangles for yielding, rectangles for speed limits, and circles for railroad crossings. So why did stop get an 8-sided shape that we rarely see anywhere else in our daily lives? It wasn't a random choice, and it wasn't just to make it look unique. The octagon was born out of a very real life-or-death problem. To understand the stop sign, we have to travel back to the early 1900s. The automobile was just becoming popular, but the roads were complete chaos. Cars, horses, bicycles, and pedestrians all shared the same dirt streets, and there were virtually no traffic rules. In 1915, the city of Detroit decided to try something new. They installed one of the world's first official stop signs. But it wasn't red, and it wasn't an octagon. It was just a small white square sheet of metal with black letters. Over the next few years, other cities started putting up their own signs, but there was no consistency. One town might use a blue square, another a yellow oval. If you drove across the country, you had to learn an entirely new visual language for every county you entered. Accidents were incredibly common. Drivers needed a system they could understand instantly, no matter where they were. In 1922, a group of highway engineers from the Mississippi Valley Association met to solve this problem. They came up with a brilliant, practical system. They realized that early cars had very weak headlights, plus dirt, snow, and rain easily covered up the words on signs. Drivers needed to know what a sign meant from afar away, in the dark, before they could even read the text. So the engineers created a code entirely based on shapes. Different shapes would instantly communicate different levels of urgency, even before a driver could read the words. A circle was reserved for railroad crossings, one of the most critical warnings a driver could encounter. The octagon was assigned exclusively to intersections where drivers had to come to a complete stop, making it instantly recognizable from a distance. The diamond signaled caution or warning ahead, and rectangles and squares were used for information such as speed limits, directions, and regulations. Because of this system, even if a sign was partially obscured by mud or seen only as a silhouette at midnight, drivers could often identify it simply by its distinctive outline. So the shape was figured out in 1922, but there is one more surprising detail about the original stop signs: they weren't red. For decades, stop signs across much of the United States were bright yellow with black letters. Engineers preferred highly visible colors, and while red already carried a strong association with stopping on railways and traffic signals, durable red materials were not yet practical for widespread outdoor use. By the early 1950s, improved pigments in reflective materials had made long-lasting red signs possible. In 1954, national traffic standards adopted the red octagon we know today. It's easy to take everyday objects for granted, but the stop sign is a century-old piece of quiet genius. It's a design born from a time of dirt roads and weak headlights, a clever use of geometry that still protects millions of drivers around the world every single day.